Hey guys, it's been a while, so here's a video on the Moto Z3 Disassembly. Alright, first thing you're going to want to do, remove the SIM tray, which we've already done, over here. Next, you're going to want to heat up the front of the phone, so the adhesive underneath the screen will loosen up. And then you're going to need a pry tool or a suction cup to put on the front. And then select the corner or side, whichever you want. After you heat it up, use your pry tool and suction cup. We've already taken this apart once, so it's easier for us. You're going to stick your pry tool in between the screen and the frame. Just work your way around gently. The screen has a cable over here on the bottom left hand side, so be careful you don't cut it. Alright. You're gently going to lift the screen up. Remember, on the left hand side, you have the cable for the screen that's attached to the main board, right over here. Alright, next you're going to want to remove this film over here, just lift it up. You're going to pry it off the main board. And there's red tape here also that comes off. That's covering the battery connector. So go ahead and pop off the battery connector. Alright, once you got your connector popped off, there's a lock over here for the screen cable. Lift that lock up, that black tab. Once you release that, disconnect your screen cable from the main board by pulling it off. Here's your screen. Alright, next you got another cable over here you have to disconnect. There's a lock over here, lift the lock up like this, the latch. It has some adhesive underneath it, so you have to pry it up just a little bit so you can get underneath it. Slide that out right there. Alright, next you have another cable over here on the top left for your power switch. Go ahead and disconnect that. There's a lock over here, lift the latch up. Alright, once you got the cable that's connected over here, you're going to lift this tape over here that's going over the battery on the top. Just pry that off. Alright, now you have 14 T4 screws you're going to have to remove. Those are Torx screws. There's going to be 8 down here. The rest are going to be up here. There's 2 that are hidden. One on the top left hand corner underneath this protective shield sticker. And there's one on the right hand side too, hidden in the corner right there. You're going to have to remove these 2 stickers to get access to the screws. Alright, just go ahead and remove all the screws now. Alright, once you got all the screws out, you're going to remove 2 rubber gaskets on the top. One is for the sensor, for the light sensor right here on the top left. I don't know if you guys can see that the camera's not picking it up well, but... And you have one for the front facing camera. Now on the bottom there's 3 black tape covers you're going to have to remove. Just pry them off. Once you got those pried off, you can pop off the bottom cover for the charger port area. Alright, next you're going to want to separate the sensor cable from the metal plate it's on. It has some adhesive underneath it. So once you have that cable lifted up, the reason you want to separate it from the metal frame because it goes through the metal frame underneath to where it makes the connection on the main board. So you don't want to tear it when you're lifting up this metal frame. And then once you have that done, go ahead and lift up the metal frame. Just be gentle so you don't cut the cable that's running through it over here. Slide the cable underneath it through the metal frame. And pry the adhesive off from the top area that this metal frame is stuck to. So underneath the metal frame you have your earpiece speaker and you have the vibrator motor right here. Alright, so now you're going to disconnect the cable for the fingerprint scanner or for fingerprint reader right here. That's on the main board. Just pop it up. And then you're going to have to lift the main board up. And then here's your main cameras in the back. You got your connection over here for your mods down here. This is your front facing camera. And all you're left with is your midframe with a battery. And this back glass, or plastic or whatever it is, it does pry off. It has adhesive underneath it. But there's no point in prying that off because you have to take the phone off from the front. So you have to remove the screen to get access to the phone. You can't from the back. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and reassemble the phone. You're going to put your main board back in. Make sure your battery cable doesn't get stuck underneath it or any of the other cables. Alright, so now connect the fingerprint scanner cable again on the main board. Once that's in place, the metal cover on the top, slide the sensor cable over here through the slit opening over here on the corner. Get the cable through the metal frame right here, and then put it back in place. Now press down firmly on the cable so adhesive reattaches to the metal frame. Press down this tape again over the battery. Now you're going to put back both rubber gaskets. One for the front facing camera and the other for the and the other one for the light sensor. Alright, once those are in place, you're going to put the bottom cover for the charger port area back in. you're gonna put it like a lip, like this. Once that's in place, go ahead and put all your screws back in. Alright, now make sure you put both protective stickers back over the screws that you put in on the top two corners. And then once you did that, make sure bottom three stickers are also in place. And then go ahead and put both cables back in. You got one over here on the bottom right hand corner and one over here on the top left corner for your power switch. And once you got the cable in, press the latch down to lock it in place. Alright, once all your cables are in, go ahead and connect your screen back to your main board. Alright, once your cable's in, make sure you press down the latch or the lock to lock it in place in the back. It's right on the back of the connector. And once everything's back in place, go ahead and put your battery cable back in. Pop it back in. Alright, once that's back in, make sure you put the red protective sticker back over the cable, and also put this back film, protective film right back over it. And then now you can put the screen back in place. So you're going to press down firmly on the screen so the adhesive reattaches. And you can pop in your SIM card and you're done.